Hi, this is Melissa from Sharp Retention, and this video is to show you how to use Ian Liddle's Cutco Closing Gift Invoicer. So the first thing that you need to do is you have to pull up the Invoicer in Google Drive. So you're going to log into your Google Drive, and you're going to search for Invoicer. You'll see that the Invoicer Ian created for you will show up in your drive. He shared it with you at this point in time. So this copy right now is the master copy. This copy is owned by Ian and can't be edited by you. You're not going to be able to grab data from this copy. Not only that, but you want to maintain the integrity of this copy anyway, just in case you do something bad to your copy of the Invoicer and you have to start from scratch again. So in order to get a copy that we can use, we're just going to right click and then select make a copy. And then Google Drive is going to create a copy for you. Now it's going to save it to your master folder, your master My Drive folder. So we're just going to go over to it. And again, it's just in your drive. And we're going to open that copy up. So let's go over a few of the components of the Invoicer before we get started. So one thing that you're going to look at, the very first page is called the control page. You see down at the bottom, you see the tabs are named different things, and this is the control page. This is where you're actually going to be putting in the info needed to grab the information for the invoice. You're going to need the last name, and you're going to need the order number, just like if you're going to cutco.com and looking at the order status. At the View tab, you'll see is the actual final product. This is what all the information is going to translate to and become on your invoice. The CSV import page is where all the information from cutco.com copies over to so that the View tab can read it, translate it, and then calculate it into what we need for an invoice. The price list tab basically has all the item numbers and their descriptions. Some of them are a little bit different than what you'll see on cutco.com, but that's to make it easier for the client to interpret. So we're going to go back over to control. We're going to make an invoice. So the two pieces of information that you need again are the last name and the order number of the client you are getting an invoice for. So we're going to go ahead and copy the order number. We're going to select the square. We're actually going to highlight the number. You don't want to just copy into the square because it will change the formatting of that square. So in order to retain the integrity, you want to, again, just go ahead and highlight and select what you want to paste into rather than just selecting the cell. What happens when you just select the cell, we'll show you here. Again, it changes the entire formatting. So you want to make sure you have it all highlighted, and then you're going to go ahead and paste it in. So after we've done that, we're going to go up to the top menu here, File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, etc. We're going to go over to look up order data. We're going to select that. And you'll see it has a couple of options here. Grab data will grab all the data from the cutco.com and put it onto the Invoicer. Grab data box compacting will actually take the boxes and the gifts that it's associated with and combine them. So it's a little bit easier for the client to understand. So that's what we're going to do. The first time you run this application, you're actually going to need to authorize it. It's only going to happen the very first time you use it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Select the account you're using and then accept the terms. So after that, you'll see at the top of the page, it's running the script. And then once it's finished script, you'll see that the blue part is actually going to change and correspond with the information that you put in the orange boxes. So now we're going to go over to View and see the invoice. So you'll see now all of his information is up here, and then all of his order is here as well. So there's a few things that we're going to do to change this up and make it exactly how we want it. First thing we're going to do is we like to bring attention to the free stuff that they are receiving. So we're going to go ahead and highlight all of those cells, and we're going to change the color of the words to red. Very easy, very simple. Another thing that we like to do is we like to take all these extra lines and axe them out. We don't like them there. We like it to be a little bit cleaner. So all we're going to do is select all of those rows, right click, and click Hide Rows. Now it will stay this way, so if you put in another order number and last name, and let's say that they have more or less, it will still have the same amount of rows. So you're going to have to do that every single time, but again, it's super easy. And in order to unhide those rows, all you're going to do is click on the double arrow and it will unhide all those rows. All right, looking good, looking very good. So another thing that we like to do is we want the engraving to read discounted engraving. That's how we advertise it when we sell to our clients. So we want their invoices to reflect the same. This is something that you can change very easily. And once you do change it, it will show up that way for all of your other orders on this copy of your Invoicer. So we're going to go over to price list. And again, that was where they had all the item numbers and then all the descriptions. And I remember telling you that some of the descriptions are a little bit different than what you see on cutcode.com. So we're going to go over to engraving. You'll see it just says engraving, and we're just going to change that to discounted engraving. We type the discounted engraving here, and you'll see that when we go back to the view column, it will change to correspond to the price list. And that is the same for all the other item descriptions on the price list. So if there's something that you want to change so it says different, then that's how you change it. You'll see here that this is where the gifts and the boxes are combined into one price. Now with the bonus items, the boxes are actually separate. They pay for the boxes, but they do not pay for the actual gifts. So those will be separate. Otherwise, they will all be combined, nice and easy for the client to read with all the free stuff in red. So after we have made all the changes that we want to make, we're going to go ahead and download it into a file that we can send to the client. So we're going to go back up to our menu, and we're going to hit File. And then we're going to hit Download as a PDF document. You want to click No Grid Lines. Those are all the lines that are in between the different cells. And then also you want it to be in portrait instead of landscape. Keep it fit to width. So we're going to go ahead and export that. Depending on where your browser is set up to save downloaded files will depend on where your actual invoice is going to go. If you're using Chrome, you'll see it pops up in the bottom here. I think that Firefox will have it pop up and it download right over here. If you're using a Mac, generally all your browsers will have them go to the downloads folder, which you can find in your dock. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the finished product of the order. So this is the invoice that we just created. See, everything is nice and pretty, easy to see, easy to read. We have the monthly total down here so that they can see what their monthly payments are going to be. We have their savings right here. The tracking number for their actual package is on the invoice as well in case they need to go back and check that out. So all the information needed is right here. Now we're going to go ahead and save it to whatever file or whatever system you have in place. We currently have a location where we save all of our invoices. And this is just our system for saving them. Last name, first name, description of the file, and then the order number. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that order number because in 2 seconds it's going to make it really easy for the next thing I have to do. So normally I would go ahead and save it to our invoice file, but I actually already have his invoice in there. So I'm just going to save it to the desktop for right now. So now that our invoice is all saved in there, we're going to go ahead and send it to the client. So we're going to open up our Gmail. We're going to open up our Gmail and we're going to compose. I'm going to send it to myself so you can see exactly what it looks like after you've sent it to the client. So you're going to put in whatever subject it is that you put in. We just so happen to have a canned response. It's the same thing that we give to every client. And then you're just going to go ahead and attach the actual invoice. Now, the reason why I copied that order number is because that is the easiest way to find anything associated with that order on your computer and G Drive, wherever. So you see I put in the order number and then everything that's associated with that order number pops up. We want his invoice. This was the one that we already created and sent to them, and this is the one that we just created. So we're gonna go ahead and open that one up. And then we're gonna send it to the client. And you'll see that this is how it comes up. And at the bottom, all they have to do is click on it and they have their beautiful, lovely, ready to go invoice. And that is all you need.